In this video I will show you how you can create this really beautiful photo manipulation using Photoshop. Hey, what's up guys, Dhruv here back with another video, and in this tutorial we are going to create this. You can see the after before, and for this tutorial I'm going to use this photo and this jungle photo and this PNG file, and all of these tutorials not the tutorials, all of these images are from deviantart.com. So if you want to use any of these images, the download link is in description, so check it out, feel free to use it. Now as you can see, this is the final output and we have a lot of layers. So first of all, let's start with the background layer. So this is the forest file and we need to cut it, so more like crop it. So let's go here and crop this thing, and whenever you crop it, make sure like delete pixel is not selected. My tongue is like getting really twisted. So I'm gonna crop it somewhere here and then somewhere here, okay, a little bit here. That seems really fine. Then you can confirm it from here and make sure this box is not checked, otherwise it will delete all of this other area. So that seems fine. After that, let's go here and say, this model face stock, I really love her stocks, really well shot. So we need to cut her from the background. At first glance it seems really nice, that white background, simple photo, like you can cut it, but actually it's really difficult than you think because of the highlights. Not that difficult, but little difficult. So how do you deal with that? Double click on this thing, unlock it, then you make a copy of this thing and then press Ctrl J. After that you go to image, adjustment, and then go to shadows and highlights and mess around until you make it really dark. So let's go here and make this one dark, and then also with the highlights. Okay, that seems perfect, and hit OK. She looks like a witch, which is unintentional, but you get the idea. So now when you make selection of this thing, it would be much easier. So let's go here and make sure you have selected the darker layer, okay, this one, and then make a selection of her with quick selection if you didn't see. So let's say and make a selection of her. So as you can see, it has done like marvelous job. Like really love this tool when it works right. Other times screw this tool. So as you can see, it has made a pretty decent selection, and you can also like remove a touch from here, like this. Take your time, I don't have all day. Sorry for that. So once this is done, instead of applying your mask on this layer, you apply this on this layer. So let's turn this thing off. So as you can see, now we have selection on this layer, and then apply a layer mask and delete this thing, we don't need it now. So now once that is done, select your move tool and drag her here and then drop her here. Meanwhile, do not release your mouse click. So drop her here like this. Now obviously we need to make her look smaller. So how do we do that? You press Ctrl T, hold your shift key so that you do not do something like this, okay? So make her smaller like that, and touch here and here. Okay, that seems perfect. And then go here and confirm your selection. Good. Now turn this off and forget about it. So select your layer 0 now, go to your adjustment layer and select hue saturation, and then change the colors until you make the background green. So that is perfect. Normally we need make it from green to red, but this time we need the green one, so that is cool. So if I turn it on and off, awesome. Now once that is done, we need to add a lens flare here, create a fake sun. So how do we do that? You create a new blank layer, you select your paint bucket tool, from here make sure opacity is 100% and you fill it with black color. I'm really sorry, with black color here. And then you go to image, go to filter, render, and then go to, where is it, lens flare. And in the lens flare I'm selecting this third one because it has the least amount of details, and brightness your personal choice, and then hit OK. Once that is done, change the blending mode to screen, so you get rid of the black background, and put it somewhere around here. Then go to filter, blur, and go to Gaussian blur and add a bunch of blur. Like don't go overboard like this, we still need that glow. So like 2-3 pixels seems fine. Hit OK. Now we need to add color in this flare. So how do you do that? Image, adjustment, and then go to hue saturation, and here you add colorize, and then change the hue until it pleases you. So yellowish seems fine to me. Yep, that's awesome. Hit OK. Now when the background is ready, you can turn on your model layer, select her. Now if I zoom in, as you can see, her hair looks not that great. So select your layer mask, right click and refine mask. If you are my like regular viewer, you know what the hell am I doing, like this is my everyday thing. So you paint on her hair directly, don't change any settings, just start painting with your like brush like this. And then also you can paint in this portion here so that you can get rid of the background, and a bit from here, uh, so to save some time. Good. And here, and you get the idea. Wherever you see the white part you don't like, you just paint it like that. Okay. So since that is done, let's zoom in a bit here and then paint touch here, and a little here on her eyebrows. Good. And if you miss out anything, let's say, as you can see, her neck looks transparent. So how do you deal with that? Select your brush tool, and in the mask, you go and paint with white color so you get that thing back. See, that's how it works. It's really simple. So once that is done, as you can see, here is the sun. So that means there will be a rim lighting on her face, like that sharp backlighting. So how do you create that? So double click on your model layer, and here you have inner glow. And in the inner glow, select this thing to like get these options, and then instead of screen blend mode, change it to color dodge and increase the size somewhere around this. Now this looks fake as shit, I know. So change your color to something more friendly with your sun color, like that. Okay, that seems awesome. And then you can turn down the opacity to make it look even more natural. And you can always like go back and change the color until it pleases you, like this. That one looks like more better. So hit OK. Okay. So if I zoom out, you can see like lighting effect around her that matches with sun. Cool. Now we need to create a shadow for her. So how do you do that? You make a copy of this thing. So press Ctrl J and then right click here on your mask and select apply layer mask. So everything will be gone, and you can delete this effects, we don't need it. So we have a copy of her here, as you can see. See, copy. And then you go to your image, adjustment, and then go to hue saturation and make the lightness 0. So shades total black. Hit OK. Now you need to press Ctrl T, and then from here like flip her down like this. Here you have to zoom in and like this. Okay, adjust it here, and once that is done, hit enter, and first of all let's put it under her so we don't like miss out things. Then again let's press Ctrl T and then right click and select perspective. So it will allow you to adjust things in a perspective like this. You can select individual corners and then adjust it. So I'm gonna put it here like this, and then let's grab it a bit more here like this, and then put it here, and let's like make it taller from here. This thing can take some time, so don't rush this thing, you have to get it right. For me it's a tutorial, so I can be a bit clumsy because I want to show you how you can do it. Once that is done, click here, confirm it, then go to filter, blur, and go to Gaussian blur and apply blur, like let's say 8 pixel. Good. Hit OK, and then change your opacity to whatever you like. So let's zoom out to see how natural it looks. So let's turn it down a little bit more. So that's the cast shadow that is ready. Now we need to make a contact shadow. So create a new blank layer, select your brush tool with black color and make sure opacity is 100%, and then paint here and make sure both of the shadows layer are under model layer so you don't reveal the unnecessary area. Then start painting here like this. And a little bit here. Take your time while painting, don't rush these things, and zoom out. So as you can see, now that looks better. If I turn it on and off, you can see the difference. She is not floating anymore. See, that's the magic. Once that is done, go here and create a new blank layer, and then press shift backspace or shift delete, whichever you like, and in the contents select 50% gray and hit OK. Then change the blending mode to soft light. You cannot see shit, but let me show you how it works. Now you make sure you have selected your brush tool. Dodge and burn will be fine, but I like to make sure like soft light, stay soft light, okay, for sure. So once that is done, I was at the brush. Yeah, so in the brush, white, whenever you now paint with black color, it will make the things darker, and if you paint with white color, it will make the things brighter on this individual layer. So first decrease the opacity of your brush so it is not way too strong. So once that is out of start painting with black color here, so we can make the background a bit darker so it matches better with the image and lighting stuff. You get the idea. These things are like better the your experience with Photoshop and how much you grind again and again, then you will get better. So if I turn it on and off, great job to me. so now we need to like paint around her. So how do you do that? You control click on your mask, so it will make a temporary selection of her, and now when you paint with white color here, it will only paint on the selected area. See, that saves a lot of time. So now I'm gonna paint here like that and like this. You can increase the opacity a little bit, let's say 15%, and then keep painting, and you get the idea how it works. Okay, so with the rim light, these things would be also a little bit brighter like that, and on her hair like that. Good. Now comes the darkening part. So how do you dark that? So paint with black color, as you already know, on her back like this to make things a bit like darker, and don't mess around with her hair. I mean, if you are good at this, then do it, but for me I couldn't work out the hand really good. It always kept getting blotchy and it wasn't like very good. So I'm making the inside portion a bit darker like that and like that. Oops, come out. So now if I turn it on and off, let's like remove the selection, select and deselect. So now if I turn it on and off, you can see the difference, and that is awesome. Now I just realized that my background is not as I want, so I can always like go back and crop this thing a little bit this way and a little bit this way if I like, hit enter, and I will be good to go. As you can see, no problem. And also in the hue saturation, I need to make like the saturation a bit less because that is way too distracting. That's good. And also one important part, once this is ready, we need to add some depth of field so it looks more realistic. So how to do that? You select this thing, then you right click and you select convert to smart object. Once that is done, you go to filter, blur, and you go to Gaussian blur and apply a bunch of blur. 7 to 8 pixel works fine for this particular image. So 8, good. Hit OK. Now like the whole image is blurred, that looks really fake. So how do you deal with that? You take your brush tool, and since it's a smart object, the filters are also smart, since everyone is really smart in this family. So once that is done, you now start painting with black color where you don't need it. Brush, I hate when this happens with shortcuts. So now select your mask and then paint here with black color so that you don't have this. Oops, opacity is 100%. Now it will work. So now as you can see, now it is going away. So now if I zoom in and let's like turn it on and off, you can see like it gives it a whole bunch of depth. And also we need to make this flare a bit since we make our canvas bigger. So let's make it slightly bigger and also let's move it touch here. Good. Then it's time to add the ivy, not the poison ivy, not the Batman one, this ivy. So how do you take it to that document? This is how we do it. You press Ctrl A, press Ctrl C, you go here and then you press Ctrl V, and when this box appears, hit OK. Good. Now you need to take it on the top like that, and we don't need this unnecessary, so I'm gonna press Ctrl T and make it a little bit smaller like this, and let's put it in the center for movement like that. And I don't need this area, like, so I'm just gonna erase it with my eraser tool. No masking, like every time masking can be a bit like tiring, I don't know. So good. So once that is done, we need to make it even more smaller so that, okay, this one's fine here, and we forgot to erase a little bit here. Okay, that is great now. So I'm gonna make it even more smaller like this, and always hold your shift key whenever you are like making things smaller or bigger so it doesn't kill your proportion like that, and hit enter or click on this arrow. Good. Now as you can see, this girl has this really beautiful rim lighting, but the ivy doesn't, so that is really unfair. So how do you give it to? So you hold your alt key, don't release it, and then drag this effect icon on ivy too. So suddenly she also has, or she ivy has rim lighting too. Now again double click on this thing. So inner glow is fine, but we also need to add some satin, so it will make the background darker and give it more realistic look. And then decrease the opacity to somewhat around 25%, seems fine. So if I turn it on and off, you can see the difference. I can also like 20% also fine. Now that is done, we need to make this ivy blurry, and let's like adjust it a little bit. Okay, good. Now we need to make it blurry, so it seems like it's in front, she is in background, and super depth of field. So let's go to filter, blur, and then go to Gaussian blur, and 8 is way too much, so let's go with 5. 5 also seems fine, so hit OK. Since that is done, create another adjustment layer and select brightness contrast and add a bunch of contrast in the image. See, now it suddenly looks really good. But we need this only on the some selected areas. So how do you do that? You have a mask, you have a brush, you have black color, so remove it from the unnecessary areas, and also remove it a touch from her face like this, and also from her hand, because it will make it a little bit blotchier and I don't need that. Now you create another adjustment layer and you select brightness contrast, and this time you add the brightness, and that is way too much, so say that's fine. And then we only need it in selected area too. So how do you do that? Select a mask, black color, and then remove it from the where you don't need it. So I'm gonna remove it from here, here. So as you can see, I have this only in this area, and if you want it back, you can always paint with this, what do you call it, brush. And let's remove this brightness from here with black color, so it is darken. Good. And also no, this seems fine, this seems really fine. Good. So that like basic output is ready, and this seems fine, and this might seem a little bit unnatural to you. Actually it seems to me too. So you can like always decrease the opacity and then increase the size a touch, and then again decrease the opacity to make it more natural. So if I zoom out, okay, now that seems much more natural. Good. Now once that is out of the way, let's go back here and create another adjustment and select hue saturation. And in the hue saturation, in the preset, go and select, where is it, strong saturation. It does nothing, just makes it a whole lot like crazy funky. So that's a lot, and that seems like 20% seems fine. Actually that custom thingy was pointless. Just make the saturation like 15, that would do the trick. So if I turn it on and off, you can see it seems much better. Now the effect is almost ready, but here is the final layer that will change everything, like I'm telling you. So go here and select the solid color, and in the solid color I'm using the color code 3C3112. And how did I get this color? Just play around and you will get the damn color. Seriously, there is no secret behind it. Hit OK, and then change the blending mode to overlay. So it is really strong right now, but once you change the opacity to 50%, it suddenly starts working with all the lighting and the feeling, overall mood of the image. So if I turn it on and off, you will not like this one, but this one, perfect. And you can always go back and change the color if your taste is different. If you have taste like this, stop graphic designing, seriously. So you get the idea. This seems fine. Now the final step and your effect will be done. So here is it. Go to solid color, and instead of black, a closer to black. Hit OK and change the blending mode to exclusion. So if I turn it on and off, it gives it that overall slight feeling. And you can also like go to blue areas and then add a little bit of blue if you like. Okay, I don't like this look on this image for some reason, so that is fine. I would rather go with some look like this. Okay, that is awesome. And then change your opacity until it looks the way you want. Okay, so let's make it like 50%. Okay, that is great. And if you think like it's darker, or like if it's way brighter, I mean this cannot look bit brighter. I mean if it's darker, go here and you have exposure. Where is it? Here. And add little bit exposure, so it will make it brighter, but that seems just unnatural, and this seems much better. Okay, so this is the final output, and the real beauty behind this image is, I would say, you can change anything anytime you want, even after saving the file. Like anytime, even after 8 years, when your grandchildren open this file in Photoshop, they can change it too. I mean, just saying, you know. So I really hope you learned something, and if you did, hit that like button, comment something. It helps my videos a lot. You can subscribe to my channel to check out more Photoshop manipulation tutorial. I have more than 60 of them, and you can also like check out this two manipulation tutorials that I did in past. So till then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with Photoshop.